everybody, this is Cheri at djsundry.blogspot.com, and I am really excited about the card that I have for you today. I'm going to show you what I used, and then I'm going to tell you what I was able to do with this setup. So the ink that I use is the Memento Tuxedo Black, and I use that to stamp Happy Birthday, which I've set aside here. I use the All Occasion Messages from Hero Arts and this little tiny Happy Birthday to put down there. And then I'm using some bling. I use these pearls from Kaisercraft, and I'm not even sure where I got these other than that they're from Kaisercraft. I think they were a free gift in something. And then these Want to Scrap Satin Pearls, I use those as well, and those are in purple. And these others, these are kind of a peachy color, really pretty. And then I use the Cuttlebug Happy Birthday folder that just has Happy Birthday. And then the paper that I used is the What's Up stack from Basic Gray, which is a gorgeous stack. You know, it's kind of an interesting stack because it's got the hot air balloons and stuff, so you maybe could use it for men, but the colors make me think of women, and so I use that. Now this is the part that I'm excited about. I was able to, this is a 6x6 pad, and you will see when I'm all done how I was able to get 4 cards out of 3 pieces of paper, and I have hardly any scraps left, which is part of my goal right now, is working on using up the paper so that I don't have a lot of scraps hanging around and making the most use out of my paper. So let's get started. Now I also needed some white cardstock as my card base, and so the cardstock that I chose is just plain Georgia Pacific cardstock, just from that you get from Walmart, just an inexpensive cardstock. So I am going to put my pieces aside over here, and this is just a standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of card, and it's cut in half at 5.5 inches so that I have a standard A2 size card. And I was able to do this by cutting and maneuvering my paper around. So I took this piece of this peachy color from that stack, and I took this piece of green, and I cut one card base size at 4 inches by 5 1/4 of each one of those 2 colors, and I ran them through the Cuttlebug. And then I took them and started chopping. Now, because I am running very, very close on the paper that I'm using, I went ahead and took another piece of cardstock. So now I've cut into 3 pieces of white cardstock, which I do have quite a bit of left over from that. But I took one piece and I made several foundation pieces the size that I want this to be because of the way I'm going to be laying it out. So this is 4 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches tall. And so then I took this floral print and I cut different size squares, which you will see in just a minute. So let's start with this cardstock here, and this is, you can barely see the embossing of the Happy Birthday in it, but it is popping through, and I probably could go through with my distress inks and kind of put a light touch over the top, and it would make them pop even more, but I kind of like the subtle look. So on this one, I think that they're going to meet almost exactly, because after I had planned to make 2 cards, and then I realized I was trying to use up my paper, and by mixing and matching the papers from that pad, it would be more waste than what I really needed if I did the solid background. And so I thought, well, I will cut the different sizes, and then these were just leftover strips, the extra little strips, and I'll show you more about that in just a minute. So I'm going to line this up on the bottom, and the reason why, and this one I think we're going to be okay, but some of the other pieces, because I was using up my scraps, as I told you, I had a gap here, and so if there was a gap, I was going to cover it with something in the middle, so I wanted to be able to be sure and really leave the empty space in the middle so that it looks like it's all completely covered. Yes, it's kind of about an illusion. You're making the eye think that you've got solid pieces when really you do not. So this is the foundation of my card, and believe it or not, I'm almost done with this card already. So now I'm going to adhere this down. The goal is that none of the white is showing on the bottom, because I am wanting to put it on my base, and I'm just going to line it up so that it's even all the way around. Got about an 1/8 of an inch all the way around, and there we have that. Now this is where the bling, or the want to scrap pearls, come in, and on this one I'm working to pull out the purple in here, and I'll show you some of the other things that I've done on the other cards. So I'm going to take, normally I like to work in 3s, but due to the width of these, I am just going to put 2 little pearls right here. And there we have. I pre-stamped that for you so that wouldn't take away time. Now the inside is blank, and this is where some of the scraps came in. Like I said, I am going to be down to the green piece that I had cut 1 set of butterflies out of, and so there was that waste, and then there's this much waste of the green, and as far as I know, that's all the waste on those 3 pieces of colored paper, period. I was able to use up every little piece other than that. And how I'm doing that, and I know I'm running off camera probably here, but I'm just using ATG. I have a little piece of that peach color here, and then I've got another piece of the floral, and what I did is I just took the little squares that I had left and quartered them, and so that I had enough for all 4 of the cards that I made. And I was going to use this piece too, so I probably had, if you put these together, I probably have what is that, a 1 by 1.5 inch piece of waste, and then there was the little part that I cut the butterflies on for another project. So now if I had been thinking, I could have cut butterflies or hearts or something out of this and attached that too, but that was kind of an afterthought. So there we have this card. It's just a very simple finished inside, nothing extraordinary, plenty of room for me to write my message in it, but yet it's a finishing touch. And then there's the outside that has happy birthday. So how did I get 4 cards? So you saw that this piece was cut in half after it was cut down and embossed, and here is the other half of that piece down here. Now I used a wider strip of green here because this piece, there really was quite a gap, and I could have actually trimmed this probably half again as much, but I decided to just do a wider band. And on this particular green one, I used the peach colored pearls because they're a little bit bigger and I had plenty of room on this wider. So that one's a little bit wider. So see, 2 of the same pattern cards, but yet they look very different. And so then we go to the green that I used, and we've got 2 more here. We've got the green on the bottom here and on the top here, and then a wide strip of the floral. But because I have, if you look here, I've got 3 of the wider strips of floral. So all the floral paper that I had left was a small strip, but I had extra, this would have been the sideways of this orange. So I went ahead and stamped my sentiment. And I wish I had paid more attention and had flipped this paper differently, because after my sentiment was stamped, I realized this paper has kind of a newsprint or something coming through. It's just part of the fun of the paper, but it did kind of mute out so that this sentiment doesn't pop quite as much, but it still looks good. And then I took the purple bling and I just put 3 of them here. So 3 pieces of 6 by 6 paper, 3 pieces of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and I have 4 very nice birthday cards. So I hope that inspires you to go see what you have with your papers, and remember, stop and take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.